Hey y'all, Brandon Rinas here. So you're gonna get a quick video, just pulling into work here, so I gotta make it fast. But I had to talk about my Donald Trump rally experience. Decided to go to it. It was in Everett, Washington, pretty liberal state for all of you that do not know. And I am not a Trump fan, but I thought I'd show up, see what it was like, see what the people was like, or were like, I apologize, and what the atmosphere was like. I also knew that there was gonna be a huge, seems like there's a lot of shade on my face, so maybe I'll take my hat off. There's a huge amount of protest going to be going on for it, and so I figured I'd hang out with the anti-Trump crowd a little bit too, to see kind of what the Trump people were like, what the anti-Trump people were like, things of this kind. I feel like I'm like most Americans who can't stand either candidate, and so I thought I'd try to have a unique perspective and go there relatively open-minded. I'll start off by saying I'm a little bit biased. I lean a little more Trump side than I do Hillary, but I don't like either one of them. I have no plans of voting for either one of them. And this is my experience. So I showed up at around 3. The doors opened at 4. By the time 4 o'clock rolled around, they had lines, I would say, 8 blocks long. And these are huge, massive city blocks. The lines were double wrapped practically from the theater or the stadium, I guess you could call it, all the way to 10 blocks away and then all the way back to the stadium. It was insane how many people were there trying to get to the Trump rally. By the time 7 o'clock rolled around, the Trump rally was starting, and there was still, I don't know what the actual numbers were, but I know as far as I could see, which was about 4 to 5 blocks, there was still a line of people 4 to 5 blocks long that could not get in before 7 o'clock, and they started entering people at 7. I also know from Donald Trump's speech, which who knows how accurate it is, I am not saying it's credible, but take a look yourself, that they set a new attendance record for the stadium. So there was a lot of people there. Now let's go to the protest. There was also an anti-protest there. I would say there was somewhere between 300 to 500 people there. Decent turnout considering it's a protest rally. One of the main things I was going there for was to figure out the credibility of both the Trump supporters and the anti-Trump people. You'd think that, you can kind of get a decent idea, a decent gander on what kind of people you're looking at. So the Trump people, there was some negativity a little bit, because there's obviously a lot of anti-Trump people. I saw a few people get flipped off. I did hear one racist remark from one of the Trump people, and I saw a couple people acting like they were mooning people, and then there was the typical yelling back and forth, trying to push your agenda on the other person. On the anti-Trump side, again, this is it's a smaller sample size, but there was far more racism. I'm talking 20 to 1 ratio, probably a higher ratio than that. It's probably closer to 50 to 1. Insanely way more racist. Pretty much, I would say the majority of black people that went to the Trump rally had racist remarks thrown at them at least once, probably multiple times. You worthless piece of blah, 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 N-word. How dare you go and support that dude, or something of that kind. So, that's what you're talking about. Those are the kinds of comments that you're hearing from the anti-Trump people, which is odd considering Trump's supposed to be this hate and fearmonger. The same thing went for a lot of Mexicans. There was not a ton of blacks there. I would say there was... I actually was sitting next to a anti-Hillary guy, and him and I were having a good time counting them all, and I think there was probably, I would say 200 would probably be on the high side, but I would say 150 would be on the low side, so not a ton out of 10,000 plus people that were there. But also, there was quite a bit of Mexicans. I would say the Mexican population there was 10 to 15% of the crowd, quite a high percentage. And they got called all kinds of names. By Mexicans, by blacks, by whites, everybody. They just really got reefed on by this so-called anti-Trump crowd. So that's something to think about here when you're talking about which group is the hate group and how hateful the Trump people are. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all the Trump people were innocent, but when you have an insanely huge sample size of Trump supporters going to a rally who are in general respectful, not all of them obviously, but in general were pretty respectful, going against another group that in general was not respectful, it makes you wonder how accurate the sources are that say Donald Trump's this evil racist person, when that doesn't seem to be the case if you're actually caring about truth. I will say that I had some fun. I had a sign on that said Hillary Clinton for prison. on one side, and so they would start these. They literally would start Trump little rallies. There'd be like 30 or 40 people. They'd hop in a group and they'd all start chanting "F Trump, F Trump, F Trump," different things like that. And so just because I like to be a little bit of a troublemaker, I would hop in front of the entire crowd of them with my Hillary Clinton for prison sign, and I would start chanting, yo Trump, or just something the opposite of them, just to be a pain in the butt. And I got threatened a bunch. They threatened to kill me. They threatened to hurt me. They threatened to beat me up. They called me every name in the book, which, I'm kind of looking for it at least. So that was also part of the whole ordeal for me. But I have to say that absolutely Donald Trump supporters were hands down way more respectful. I mean, like I said, 20 to 50, not even remotely close. It wasn't even close. So maybe this is a one-time thing. Maybe this is just Washington. But I can also testify as someone, I wave a sign every single day on the side of the street. It started off as a sign on one side. It said Donald Trump for insane asylum on one side, Hillary Clinton for prison on the other side. And my whole goal with this sign was just to get people to wake up and start recognizing this system is corrupt. We are so messed up. We are so screwed. And what happened was, again, this is another small sample size, but a whole different part of Washington. In fact, a very high percentage, the majority of the people that live in my area are Mexican. So again, you'd think perfect area to get attacked a bunch on the Trump side, or, supported. I got flipped off in a week and a half 71 times by Hillary Clinton supporters, never once by Donald Trump supporters, not once. Now, I did have a couple Donald Trump people to yell at me and tell me, oh, hey man, he's going to be president, screw you, or something like that. But I mean, it's almost like in a fun way, like, they don't agree with me and they're like passionate for their dude. Hillary Clinton supporters, F you, I'm not even counting all those, and all the middle fingers astronomically, 71 times in a week and a half. So that is the difference, again, from my perspective, what I've seen. This is just me, boots on the ground experience of the two different candidates. I will say, as someone that obviously is not a Trump supporter, when I'm writing, or when I have a sign I'm waving that says Trump for insane asylum, I am starting to become a little more attracted to his message. He flip-flops too much for me. He doesn't seem to really lay out too many plans in general, and I think he's for big government, so those things really bother me, and I'm probably not going to support him all because of those reasons. But just the way he has took the high ground so many times when people call him racist 24/7, and he just keeps on plodding and making progress, even though he has the vast majority of media against him, and there's so much hate against him, it actually makes me respect the man just because I'm an underdog fan. So I guess that's all I've got to say, guys, is this is just an honest, true approach of what happened at the Donald Trump rally in Everett, Washington. If you guys want more stuff like this, I do videos, at least one video every single week on different topics, and I'm just always an honest, sincere person that speaks from my heart. That's what we're here for, guys. We're here to try to unite each other. We're here to build each other up. We're here to create a better country. We're here for more freedom, or at least most of us are. And that's what I'm trying to do. Without picking a favorite side in general, I mean, obviously we have biases, but I try to be unique and try to be special. If you like this type of stuff, hit subscribe, hit the like button. I promise I'll keep sending out more material. We'll keep it up. Thanks all. Brandon out, signing out.